to the Harmonize Your Life, Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. I am so delighted to kick off season 19 of this podcast, a podcast that we started in 2020, and we are now in the 6th year of this podcast, the 19th season. And I am in the room today with a beautiful, beautiful room, a tapestry of women with life and experiences, and we're all dressed in shades of green at the Harmonize Your Life Mother's Day Brunch. Our first Mother's Day brunch, which I found out from a sister today that we have to do it again and again. So look for us again next year. This is our Mother's Day edition of the podcast, which is near and dear to my heart. And so I want to dedicate this podcast, this season of our podcast, to my mother, Margaret Griffin Baker, who is in heaven today, but I know that she is smiling down on each and every one of us in this room. We have with us today the Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. She is going to speak with us. She and I are going to speak. She just lit the room up, y'all.
I'm at the point in my life where I want you to understand that it is through the struggle that resilience has been birthed. Yes. And that we all have a story, that we're all coming out of trauma of some kind, and we're all working through the healing of that. Yes. And isn't that what harmonizing is all about? Yes. But why is that so difficult for Black women? Why is it so hard for us? We always take a back seat to everybody and everything. We take care of our husbands and our children and our communities, and we carry the weight of everything on us. So how then do we harmonize our lives to the point where we find who we are and whose we are? The first thing is we have to be truth tellers to ourselves. Yes. You have to finally embrace yourself for who you are, because we all fall short. We all have not done everything that we ought to do, but forgiveness is powerful because we are harder on ourselves than anybody else can be. If you want to be at one with your mind, body, and spirit, then they all have to be connected in some way. And so what we have to do is be the woman that we are wherever we are that woman. That means that when you're in church, and that is the woman that you are there, when the doors are closed, can you find yourself and just be yourself? So how do you kind of do that in this whole world that's going on? Watch what you take into your mind. If you want your mind renewed, and I'm speaking scripture all in between this, you know, the renewing of your mind starts with a decision to renew your mind. You get to choose who's around you. You get to choose. And I'm not going to be around people who are not for me. No, you got to be for me. No. And so harmonizing your life today is really about centering your life on mind, body, and spirit. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me be myself. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you.
She just lit the room up with a empowerment message, enlightening us, encouraging us to harmonize our lives and to take care of ourselves and one another. I'm excited to invite her to be my dialogue partner for this season of our podcast. And one of the things that I want you to know about her is that she is currently running for the office of Georgia Secretary of State. And we believe, and we're gonna make her the winner, all right? So listen, Judge, thank you again for being here with us today. I am so grateful to have you in this room. Thank you for consenting to be here. When I asked, it was a no-brainer. You just said, Yes, and the only thing we had to work around was your campaign schedule, which I understand.
Yes.
And I appreciate just the sisterhood and the way that you are just yourself. And I have seen you in the hair salon with both of us looking. Y'all know how we look when we come in the hair salon, when we first get there. But yeah, and then just, the being colleagues in the city, in Atlanta, greater metropolitan Atlanta, both pastoring churches here in our city, both of us doing ministry, empowering women. I remember for years, you had a huge women's conference that you led for many
10
years. You've been on television, court TV, and you've done so many wonderful things, and you are a servant of the people.
Oh, yeah.
You love people, and that's one of the reasons I believe I love you. The Bible says deep calleth unto deep. And so you're kind of like, when we meet, it's kind of like the spirit when Mary and Elizabeth met, and the babes in their wombs began to leap. And so when I speak with you, there's something in me that begins to leap. Thank you. Thank you. So you shared a little bit of your journey in your conversation with the women in the room, but for our listening audience today, would you share just a little bit of your journey of the role your mother played in your motto to live a life that colors outside the lines?
Thank you. And that is my motto, living outside the lines, because my mother told me I never had to pick one thing. And I think it's the greatest gift she gave me is that she made a sacrifice in keeping me. 65 years ago in New Orleans, in a Catholic town, that meant that if you had a child and you weren't married, that you were looked at a little bit differently. But she made that sacrifice and kept me and put everything into me and really spoke life into me. She gave me permission to know that me being different was a positive, because she would say something like, Penny Marie, you can't go no anywhere. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? And she would say, you have such a bright light. Everybody is not going to want you in that space. And so it really kind of gave me permission that if I didn't get something that I went after, I would always tell myself it's because they couldn't handle it. Right? Make sense? So,
I like that. You can't handle me.
No, you can't. It's too much. It's too much. So she poured a lot into it.
Wow. You mentioned in your conversation with us that for years, when you would go to the doctor, and they would ask you about your family medical history, you would tell them you were adopted.
Yes.
Can you share with our audience a little bit of that?
I can. Yeah. My mother was the victim of a rape, and I am the child of that. But I think I'm so connected, and I don't think I know, when the word says, I knew her in her mother's womb. That is so important to somebody like me, because I was valued even then. So I don't have the hang-ups that other people might have. Because for God to know you in your mother's womb, that means that God had ordained for my life.
And it says, so I knew you and I formed you. I shaped you.
That's it. And so everything about my life really is a testament to God shaping. To God saying, there are no limits that I'm putting on you. But you got to do one thing. You always got to put me first. You can never be ashamed, but you got to be assured. And you got to let everybody know that everything you have accomplished is come from me. And so wherever I go, I'm running on that. And I've always done it wherever I've gone. I don't think you have to separate. And people might say the separation of church and state really is the separation of the government encroaching on people. Not us embracing our God.
Right.
And so for me, I think in the day where after COVID, people are not going to church at the same level. People are not as connected because people were so traumatized from that. We were, our people were dying and we couldn't say farewell at our funerals. And so for me, I want to be a vessel that connects people back to the Spirit of God. Because I think that Spirit, if we feel the Spirit, I don't even have to open my mouth. And you can feel the Spirit of the living God running through me. That's really what anointing is.
That's it. That's it.
Everybody wants to be anointed, but baby, what you have to go through to get this anointing.
Because in order for that oil to flow out of that olive, it's got to be crushed.
Yes, it must.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, when you said, you talked about your mother's role and what your mother told you. You told us that your mother told you didn't have to be just one thing.
Yes.
And it reminds me, Dr. Consuelo Ward says that our story begins with our mother's story. And so oftentimes when I begin my story, I always start with my mother's story. I start with the fact that she had me at the age of 17, which she turned 17 one month before I was born, right? And then my father passing away when I was 5, and my mom having to raise then at that point she had 4 girls, which I'm the oldest of, and her story and how that has shaped me, and then to hear you share your mother's story and how that has shaped you. This is a Mother's Day edition of our podcast, and many women in this room are mothers, and all of us have a mother. Right? Because the only way into the earth realm is through a mother. But not all of our stories are pretty.
Right.
And they're not all stories that we sometimes are proud of. Can you tell a woman that may be listening to this podcast, no matter what the circumstances that was happening around her birth, how important her purpose is, no matter what?
Oh, God. When I think about God, and bringing us into this earth. The DNA, that deoxyribonucleic acid that makes you who you are. There is no other person like you in this world. And when we think about God and God allowing us through all the tragedies or all of the situations we've gone through to be here on this planet and to be who we are in ourselves, there's no greater honor to me. When I wake up in the morning, Dr. Toni, I just wake up, I say, Lord, I made it another day. And when I start to think about everything that I've been through to get to this point, I feel like I'm a miracle. And I think if we all could look around and start saying, we are miracles.
Yeah.
We are a walking miracle. But it all started with that mother. Some people didn't have good mothers. Some people didn't, because mothers didn't know. Nobody gave them, especially if your mother's 17 years old, or 16 years old. Nobody told them how to be a mother.
No.
But then there's something about women who mother.
Talk about it, please.
That is so selfless. My mother did without to make certain that I would have.
I hear you, mine too.
She just did without. She suffered. I ended up being abused because I watched her being abused. But one of the things, the bravest thing I can remember that my mother did, was this man that she was in a relationship with, and I was a singer, because I sing. And I had to go somewhere, and he didn't want my mother to go. She had a hoop earring on, I'll never forget it. And he slapped her so hard that he bent the earring. And I was a little girl just watching, terrified. And then he said he was gonna slap me.
Uh-oh.
My mother was the bravest woman. And she was kind of a docile woman, but she was the bravest woman that I saw that day. She said, you can do a whole lot of things, but you're not gonna put your hands on my child. No, that you're not gonna do.
You're not gonna do that.
You're not gonna do that. And my mother left, and she never went back. We were living together, and she never went back, and she took me there. And that's when I learned, in that moment, I had to get up and still perform. Even though I had witnessed that. But even then, that wasn't a sad thing. Because no matter what I go through, I know that I have to deliver. I have to come up and I have to deliver. But I do give myself room to go back and feel it. Because what happens is when we don't feel it.
Right.
So I went back and I tried to talk with her about it, and she says, Penny Marie, that's what she would call me. She says, I'm so sorry you had to see that. And then I just wondered now, she was so brave.
Yeah.
You know, I see things very differently now from where I'm, like you can criticize people when you don't go through it. But people don't realize all that mothers have to go through to raise their children. Nobody would have any
and
idea.
the things and the sacrifices. I saw my mother sacrifice for me and my sisters, and even though she later married a wonderful man who took care of us, right? But you know, even in that, there were things in that marriage that wasn't healthy for her. But yet she stayed for us, right? But my mom was she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 28, right? And so, she worked at the University of Chicago hospitals, and but I would see her working night shifts and 3 to 11, and then sometimes she would call and say, "I'm going to take a double shift and work," and she would be in so much pain, but she would work because she wanted to make sure that her 4 little girls would be all right. And she always said, because our father died so young, and he was 26 and she was 21, a widow at 21 with 4 girls. And she said, "Lord, I just want to live to see my girls be grown," right? And the Lord granted that.
You know, my mama used to say,
yeah.
We had 4 girls too.
Yeah.
We called us the Brown girls.
Yeah, we're the Griffin girls.
Okay. But that's all she wanted us to do. For me, everything that she probably knew she wouldn't be, I could be.
Yeah.
And so I kind of lived my life for me, but I also lived the life she never got to live.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? We get to carry them with us, right? So when I go places to preach, when I run marathons and all of that, because my mom couldn't run because of her mobility issues. So when I run in her honor. When I walk in her honor. When I travel, because my mama loved her. She was a road dog, honey. Now she would drive. She would drive from Chicago to Georgia all by herself, right?
Wow.
Yeah. She was a strong woman. But listen,
you
all
still
of
miss
us,
her, don't you?
I do.
I can see it all in your eyes.
I do. And you know it's Mother's Day, right?
I know.
So just the heart is a little tender.
I know.
The heart is just a little tender.
But I'm proud of you for even doing it.
Yeah.
Because they live on. You know, that's what our ancestors say in Africa, that we believe that when we call their name, they never die.
Yeah.
And that their spirit is always with us. And for some of us, I do all the things that I said I wasn't going to do that my mama used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't it something how you turn into your mama?
You turn into your mama.
Oh, my God. You turn. Sometimes I walk past the mirror and I'm like, who are you?
I know.
Yeah, but we turn into the good
and the bad.
And the bad.
Yeah, we do.
The stuff we said we'd never say.
We say it.
We say it.
That's true.
Yeah, we turn into them.
Yeah.
But it's such a wonderful testament that we're able to get together and think about our moms. And I told somebody today, you know, yesterday was May 8th, and on May 8th, 2021, my mom called me over to her house and began to share with me what she wanted for her funeral. She wanted to share, because not only was I her daughter, but I was also her pastor, me and my husband. Oh. And so she wanted to let us know all of what she wanted for her arrangements. And so yesterday was a real quiet day for me, a contemplative day, thinking about that. But I said to someone, I'm so glad I'm finally at the place where I can think about her and not be sad, that I can smile. I miss her, right? But I don't have to wail and fall out in the floor. Yeah. And we don't weep as those who have no hope, right? Because we know that they are in that great cloud of witnesses and their spirit still lives on in us. So this podcast is dedicated to self-care, health, and wellness for women of color. In your work as a judge, in your work as a pastor, a community leader, the work that you did with the Biden-Harris administration in agricultural health, tell us why is that important for Black women to take care of ourselves?
It's critical because we have to be our own advocates. The data shows that there is bias against Black women in most things, but particularly in healthcare. My mother died of heart disease. And it is the #1 killer of Black women.
It is.
And so what we'll do is we'll have high blood pressure and we'll have diabetes. All of these are prescriptions that get us ready for that. We need to go and get checked. You need to have an EKG regularly. Mm-hmm. Echocardiogram is something that you need to have. You need to go and make certain that your carotid arteries in this area here is where you would have a stroke. Mm-hmm. All of those are tests that you can have done. Your doctor's not going to give it to you, but you can ask to have that done.
Yeah.
You can have a predictor. A stroke is not something that you can just have. You can go to the doctor, a vascular specialist, and you can say, I want to have all of the tests, that I want to check my heart. And if you've had it in your family, that genetic disposition is something that insurance will make certain to pay for. So it's a big thing with me with women's health. You can tell.
Yeah.
Because like I said, my mother died far too young. She needed a heart transplant and she didn't get it. And because of hereditary, I make certain that my sisters go and get their health. I go every 4 months to a cardiologist.
Okay.
Just to make certain. We can move.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a whole lot of exercising. Just walk.
Right. Yeah, just walk.
Just a simple walk. Just start with walking.
And walking is free 99.
That's it.
prescription. Here's the prescription. Walk, drink your water, and mind your business.
Yeah, I love it.
That's the prescription.
That's it.
For harmonizing your life.
Dr. Toni is right. Staying hydrated. Most of your body is water. And so when people are asking me, you know, I don't mind saying I'm 65. And they say, well, how do you
Girl, you look good.
Honey, I'm hanging in there, honey. I am. But I know that I'm very conscious about what I eat. I can work better on my stress level because I internalize things. But I've started breathing, you know, having deep breaths and everything. And then if I could just go back and tell my mama something.
What would you tell her?
When you were talking about your mother, and I kept thinking in my mind, how it must have been for a 17-year-old. Think about what other 17-year-olds are doing. I was 18 when I had a child, so I can feel what your mother must have been feeling because she had an obligation and a responsibility. And so that part of her life as a young woman, she had to put it aside because she had to step up for you all. And so I could feel her in that way. But when I was sworn in to be a judge, I was the governor's lawyer. And I remember my mother holding the Bible. I didn't let my husband do it. I let my mother do it. But then I didn't know my birth. I didn't know all about that. But my mother looked at me and she said, Penny Marie, you're going to know everything in the by and by. And I never really understood what that was. But I would just tell her, Mama, thank you. Everything, your life was not a waste. You had a hard life. But because of the sacrifices you made for me, I'm able not just to do for my children, but I'm living my life even so other women, other children can see the goodness of God through me. Because we have to sacrifice so much. So the same thing is true. Your mother would be so proud of you. Could she have imagined at 17 years old, you would go on to write books. You travel the world. You have a husband and a beautiful family. And look at you. Your mother would be so pleased.
You're going to make me cry now.
She would be so pleased.
Oh, Lord Jesus. You're messing up my makeup. I just got it done this morning.
And she looking pretty, isn't she?
And I got to keep this face. I got to keep this face through the weekend. Because y'all know this stuff costs. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're right. And that's not just for me and you. That's for every woman in this room. That's for every woman that's going to log on to this podcast. This is going to live on YouTube. It's going to live on Spotify. And we don't know 5 or 10 years from now what little girl might be looking at you and I and see that they don't have to just be one thing. And what I like about us as Black women, we come in all shades, colors, and sizes.
Yeah.
See, you that light skin, we used to call y'all high yellow. But I grew up.
And you married to somebody.
Can you believe that? And I didn't like light-skinned men. You know, when I took him home to meet my grandmama, she said, is that boy a Rican? I said, yes, Grandma, he's a Rican. But listen. But I grew up very, 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 very self-conscious. And I struggled for many years with low self-esteem because I had a white woman. You talked about the white woman that's asked you what you're going to be.
Yes.
Well, I'll never forget. You talk about trauma and what we carry.
Yes.
So I'll never forget when I was a little girl, a white woman was walking with her daughter, her white daughter, and her daughter looked at me and started crying and pointed at me. And her mom said, what's wrong? And she said, she's Black. And she was crying.
Jesus.
And I internalized that. And so for many years, I did not like the fact that I was light-skinned. I mean, I was dark-skinned. Yeah. And I had, long, thick, kinky hair, And, my mom was the kind, she pressed our hair with crown, what's that, crown? Y'all know that stuff, right? That they put it on your hair and it goes, all that. But I remember I remember when my mom would, because it was four of us, my mom would start washing our hair on Friday night for Sunday. And but then she would plait our hair or braid our hair, and we would have to, it would air dry. You know, we had to let it air dry. Now, mine was so thick, it would take almost 2-3 days for mine to dry. And I remember when my mom would wash, I would cry when my mom would get ready to wash my hair, because it was going to take 2 or 3 days for it to dry, and it was going to be in braids, and I would not want to go outside. Because I didn't want to go outside with my hair braided. Yeah. I was dark skinned, all of that, and I remember that. But girl, when I got free and found out that I am fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, and that God is not white, God is not black, and I am made in the image of that God. I say, if there is a God, then God looks something like me. Yeah. Right? And so, but we carry those things, right? I remember in the pandemic, girl, when they shut down the salons, I had a panic attack because I was addicted to getting my hair perm. Remember, because I didn't want it kinky. Oh, yeah. Right? And then when I finally let go of that and said, you know, this is my natural curl. And this is my natural hair. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But all those things that we carry for years.
Internalized
and
oppression.
And we internalize what somebody else says.
It's an internalized oppression that comes from the dominant culture always wanting to make us feel less than. And all they've ever done was mimic us. They put perms in their hair to make it curly. It's almost like holding a mirror up to them. And if we could really understand that they want us, they want to be us. But we didn't really understand that with tanning, and, you know, they go out and sit on a beach to get to be brown. And so, but the internalized oppression is a part of keeping our consciousness to the point that we just feel less than. That was the whole point of it. Because you are absolutely beautiful.
And so are you.
Oh, thank you.
And so are you. So you're running for Georgia Secretary of State.
I surely am.
I like the way she said that. I surely am. This is not a campaign stop. Well, yes, it is. It's all right. Tell us why you're running.
Oh, my Lord.
I know it's probably layered, but give us a little bit.
I accepted a call from God. This was not something I wanted to do, and I'm being very honest. I had decided was going to go maybe teach in London for about a year, social justice. At 65, I was just ready to just write books and do what I was doing. And I heard a call from the Lord. It's like everything has prepared me for this moment. To have become a judge, then to be a professor, then to everything, a lawyer. Everything that I have done has prepared me for this moment. And there was one thing that was left that I had not done. Would I really trust him? Now, what do I mean by that? I have basically done a lot of different things, but deep down inside, I kept saying it was the Lord, but I kept wondering if I was not the person doing it. It's hard to explain what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I never felt like if I want something done, I always feel like I have to depend on me. Yeah. I wasn't depending on my husband. I wasn't depending on anything. And this is a moment where I get one vote and you get one vote. And no matter how good I am, I have to surrender this thing to the Lord. And so I have to do it publicly now. So that means, so God said to me, it will say more about the people and less about you, depending on how this thing goes. Yeah. But can you trust me? Can you really just trust me that I know the beginning from the end? He told me to run. Now, I didn't say he said I was going to win. He told me to run. Do you understand? That's the difference. So when the moment I entered, I already won. I already won. Y'all get what I mean?
Oh my God. Wait. Don't, now you just dropped something on us. God told you to run.
Yes.
So from the moment you entered,
I had already won.
You already won.
So when I'm walking around and people are asking me, how's it going? I just want to wrap my arms around them and say, I have surrendered completely to what my God has said for me to do. I have always chosen what I was doing. And I didn't go for dreams. I went where the opportunities led me. But I didn't want this. My husband didn't want me. My husband will be 77 in October. He said, girl, we living a good life. Why would you want to deal with this? You know they're going to come after you. Why are we dealing with this? But when God called you, and I heard him, because I kept thinking, this is not you, God, this is me. I don't want to do this. But then when God said to me to do it, I realized for the first time in my life, Dr. Toni, I trust God completely.
Yeah.
I trust God completely. And if it's a victory, which I believe it will be, if it's a victory, then I know. But I've already won. I've already won.
Listen. In Exodus, when God called Moses, and you know the story of Moses' birth, let me say this to you. It was not Moses. It was because God was responding to the cry of the people. So when Moses asked, why are you calling me? I can't do this. I stutter, all that, right? God said, the cry of the people have come up to me.
Wow. Okay.
And that's what I want you to see. That word cry means siyaka, meaning God saw the cry of the people.
Yes.
And so God called you, not just because of you, but the times are calling.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that.
The
that's prophetic, because this is an existential moment. An existential moment to the point where we have to decide they've taken things too far.
Yeah.
Now, of all the positions up and down, I've qualified for all of them. I'm overqualified for this.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
But what it's going to require is a person who is steadfast and immovable. And that's who I am.
And somebody that can't be bought.
Oh, honey, no indeed. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't have enough for me to be bought. I'm totally sold out to the Lord. It's a good feeling to know that if I left here tomorrow and I don't know what the future holds for me, nobody don't have to worry about me. I'm all right. I've looked back like I was sharing with the ladies. I've had some difficult days and my life has not been easy. But when I think about it, I would not change anything because I wouldn't be who I am today without it. So yes, honey, I already won.
All right.
She already won.
But for the cry of the people, I won't forget that.
And you get one vote, and I get one vote, and all of us get a vote.
And we gonna win.
So guess what? You got more than one vote today in this room.
Thank you, Dr. Toni.
Y'all give it up for Judge Penny.
It was indeed an honor to be here with Dr. Toni because what she represents is the best of what we are in women. And I'm just another woman. So what I know is that all we have been trying to do is be a representative of each other, the collective. I'm only as good as you are, and when we have joy together and we cry together, we do it collectively. So it's been an honor to be here today, just to get reinforcement and know that I am not alone on this journey as a Black woman.
Amen.
Wow, what a powerful day we have had here at the Harmonize Your Life Mother's Day Brunch and our live podcast with our special guest, the judge, the Honorable Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. Thank you again for being here with us. Listen, we want you to continue to follow this podcast. You can follow us online on YouTube, on Spotify. You can go to my website at drtonialvarado.com. Follow us. Join the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. Follow this movement because we are changing the lives and the narratives of African-American women. We're not only going to live long, but we're going to live well and we're going to live harmonious lives. Thank you again for tuning in to season 19 of the Harmonize Your Life podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. I'll see you soon.